There we go.
Here we go. Here we are. Here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the first in Sarah's LinkedIn Live Lounge. Woohoo!
Yeah.
And I am so excited because today we have the wonderful, marvelous Jeff, the LinkedIn guru, Jeff Young. Woo-hoo! Welcome to Jeff Young.
The LinkedIn guru has become a lounge lizard.
I love that. So, Jeff, we were just talking and we were trying to remember how and when we first met. So, will you please tell everybody how that all happened?
Yes, well, it was way back in 2020. Okay. And like so many people, my network started to expand globally. Greetings, Kevin. Of course, he's in the front row. Okay.
Hopefully, Kevin, you're not in the waiting room now and you're in.
No, he just said that because he was in the early.
He was so early.
So back in 2020, my network started to expand globally. Okay, because everybody was virtual and that was the only way to network, right? And LinkedIn was my lifeline in order to go through and be doing some networking. And I saw, I think it was around February timeframe. Actually, I think it was actually even Valentine's Day in February of 2020. John Espirian featured you in his Friday Shout. Okay. And I've always been a fan of John's Friday Shout because I was actually in his Friday Shout. Originally, I was featured in March, about a year earlier, in March of 2019. And he actually featured me a second time along with a couple of other folks. And one of the people that he introduced me to here in Ohio, John introduced me to someone in Ohio, USA, okay, by the name of Vicky O'Neill. And he featured us in September as well. So I was made aware of you by that. And I started interacting with your content. And you just came across as so approachable and friendly and loquacious. That's a big word, but yeah. But the point being is you were, every time I heard, hey, it's Sarah Clay, I was reminded of one of my favorite British TV shows, which is As Time Goes By, with Judi Dench and Jeffrey Palmer, and of course the character of Alistair, okay, on that show, who always starts every conversation with hey. And so I don't know whether that's where you got it or not, but I liked it, and I started talking with you, and then you and I eventually, we didn't connect immediately, but we connected a month or so later, because we did something that you called, which I don't think I've ever heard anybody actually mention too much since that time, occasionally, but we linked out because we went outside of LinkedIn and we actually did a Zoom call and we started conversations and things like that. And as they say, the rest is history. One thing led to another, and you and I have been talking ever since.
We have, and it's always such a delight to see you on LinkedIn. I mean, you share such amazing content and really incredible depth of knowledge that a lot of people don't have, and you do it because you love it. It's not your business, and this is what's so wonderful about you, Jeff, is you're always there to help people.
And before it gets any farther, I am so honored. Oh, look at that. So there it is. Yep. I actually introduced you to Kevin. So
you did.
Pay it forward time, right? That's exactly what this community is all about. And before we get any further, I want to say, of course, namaste. That's what a guru says. Okay. But I also want to say thank you, because I am so honored that you thought of me first in terms of launching your LinkedIn Live Lounge. Boy, that's a lot of L's, launching LinkedIn Live Lounge. But the point being, yeah, we linked out. We did.
We did link out. And in fact, linking out during lockdown, I had a show last Friday of the month, and I would get speakers in, had an audience and things. And I called it the Linking Out Club. And people would come along to Linking Out Club. I think you spoke at that as well.
I did, at least once. Yeah, I think so.
And it was really nice. It was a lovely community, but as lockdown ended, it kind of fizzled out a little bit, and the reason for it became no more. But yes, linking out. Well, we're on LinkedIn, so we should link out. I think it's
Absolutely. It's
yeah.
it's the next step. It always is for me. Whenever I connect with someone new, I always suggest we do some sort of video, or actual in person if they happen to be local. But so many of the people that I connect with are not local, and you have such a great brand as well. I mean, the Hey Hey is a part of that brand. The purple and the orange is obviously a part of that brand. I've accused you of driving a purple and orange car, if you remember. Well, you got it. You just have to have a purple and orange car. As a matter of fact, I even sent you a picture of a Hot Wheels car that should be your car, if I recall.
One day. I don't actually own a car. I just ride my daughter's, and it's grey or silver, and it's very disappointing. There we go. Anyway, let's get down to why we're here.
All right.
So yeah, thank you first of all so much for being my first guest on my first live show, which is streaming now on LinkedIn and on YouTube, which is very exciting. Hello, YouTube people, as well as LinkedIn people. And it's so lovely to see everybody here. This is also going to be turned into a podcast as well at some point. So very exciting that you're going to be my first podcast guest too. So when I asked you, Jeff, what do you want to talk about? Because I think I would like my guests to come with what they want to talk about. I don't want to be prescriptive. You said, well, you tell the audience what you said.
Well, I basically said it's so easy. We could talk for hours about how many different little hidden features there are on LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn, I've been doing LinkedIn training now for 16 years. As a matter of fact, LinkedIn put out notifications today. I'm getting a whole bunch of notifications of people congratulating me on 16 years because LinkedIn is actually notifying folks that I've been doing this for 16 years. Okay. and so there are so many things that are hidden in plain sight or hidden below 2 or 3 clicks away, and those kind of things. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. It just made sense to me because a lot of people just don't realize that it's even there. And by the way, before we go any further, everything that I'm going to be talking about today, by the way, is also free. It's a part of the free account. I know lots of people buy LinkedIn. I even bought LinkedIn for a year or so. Okay. But I concentrate on job seekers, and my job seekers are in the job search, so they don't necessarily have as much disposable income. So I concentrate on giving them what they can do on LinkedIn for free. Okay. And
that's brilliant, because people are talking more and more about premium is taking over LinkedIn, and there are more reasons to have premium now, and obviously it's a paid product, so that shifts the needle quite a lot for lots of people. So for you to focus on the free, things that are available in the free program is fantastic. So thank you for doing that.
My advice to LinkedIn, I mean, if they were to ever ask my advice, my advice to LinkedIn would be, don't take things away from the free folks. Just add things to the premium packages that make them worth paying for in the first place. Okay, so it depends on where you need to go and what you need to do. But LinkedIn has always been a job search place. It's so much more than that now, but it's always been a job search place. And I've got at least one of the tips that I want to talk about. Well, most of these tips will apply to job seekers. Okay, so you want to get started?
Yeah.
All right. So the very first one is very, very new. Okay. Actually, the first 2 are fairly new. I've gotten them just within the last week or so. You said that you don't even have this first one yet, although you can test it but I can't test it. The very first one that I want to talk about that's hidden is the fact that LinkedIn just recently raised the maximum number of skills that you can have on your profile from 50 to 100. They doubled the number of skills that you can have on your profile. Now that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. But first of all, maybe for some people, they don't know what you mean by skills. So maybe, do you mind just sort of backstepping a little and explaining where they are and what they are?
There is a skills section, okay, on your profile. And it is one of the most important sections on your profile because it is one of the most important ways that you are going to get found. If you list the right skills, okay, the skills that you really want on your profile. Now, for me, that's a strategic kind of thing. As we were discussing before we went live, I only have 31 skills on my profile, so I never even reached the 50. Okay, because I'm very strategic and I put only those skills that I really want to be found for. Okay, sometimes you could add a skill that is in there that is important, but not as important as it used to be. As an example, I mean, well, this is being a little facetious, but buggy whip manufacturing, okay, is probably not a big deal anymore, since there aren't that many buggy whip manufacturers in the world. So if you used to have buggy whip manufacturing, you might want to delete that skill. It doesn't make any difference to you anymore, right?
I don't even know what you mean.
Buggy whip. Oh, come on now. All right, I am old, okay, and yes. And I think part of the reason is I've been binge watching a show called Gunsmoke from the United States. So now you know why. Oh, there, Jillian. I was what? Thank you for joining, Jillian. It's great to see you. So the point being is it put the skills that are strategic to you on your profile. Okay, that's first of all. But take it from a guy who only has 31 skills. You do not need the maximum number of skills in order for you to get found and be successful on LinkedIn. Because I've got 31,000 followers, and I get found a lot on LinkedIn, but I do that because of other activity, not necessarily just because of the skills. It is because of the skills I have on there, but not. Now, one final thing though, before we go any further, is that when you are adding a skill, this is something, please take this. If you don't hear anything else about skills, hear this about skills. When you're typing in that skill, make sure that skill shows up in a pull down that LinkedIn suggests the skills. So for example, LinkedIn training, which is important to both of us, is a skill that is in the pull down. And you should type in as much of LinkedIn training as you need to, then click on it and select it from the list, because as our buddy who's in the crowd, Kevin D. Turner, calls them, and LinkedIn calls them, those are called market value titles, because they are higher market value to use that from LinkedIn's database than typing in, for example, chief cook and bottle washer. I could put that on my, on my LinkedIn profile as a skill, but if nobody searches for it and it's not in a database, it's not going to make any difference. It's just it's actually, I did a post about this on Monday. It's actually what I would call a mad skill. Okay. Mad skill is kind of a personal skill and something along those lines, not the technical skill. It's not hard or soft skill.
I would struggle though. I mean, I struggle to find 50 skills.
I agree. Yeah.
And I would definitely struggle to find any more. And, I'd be looking at tasks like administration, but I don't want to be known for administration. So I probably won't add any more skills because, as I say, I struggle to get to 50 anyway. Yeah. So I do question why LinkedIn have done this.
The focus has always been, and I think they continue to point to people as far as skills is concerned. It is that LinkedIn is going to sell you to anybody else based on one of the big things is based on the skills that you have listed there. So again, more is better, but you're absolutely right. I would struggle to try to find, 50, much less 100. But it gives people the options. I think that what this will really help people in doing is that people who have got a set of skills that apply in here and then they apply elsewhere, yeah, it might dilute some endorsements. That's a good point, Christy. It's possible because, first of all, I mean, putting a skill there is the first step. Getting endorsed and the social proof that you've got the skill is really where it's at. So that's the next step. But this is just related to the first step of putting it out there. So it may actually allow you to be a little bit more, not generic, but be a little bit more focused on more than one thing as opposed to just one.
Yeah, and that's a valid point, actually, because I have a lot of clients who come to me and they've got their day job, but they've also got their side hustle and they want to promote both.
Absolutely.
And in fact, previously, probably before lockdown, I might have said just focus on one because you're going to confuse your audience. But now everybody's got a side hustle or a co-hustle, if you like. Yeah. So yeah, why don't you talk about both?
Yeah.
Because you can do both. So actually, that's a good point to use the skills for that.
And I advise people to do that all the time. As far as your experience section is concerned, I mean, yes, it relates to skills, but as far as your experience section is concerned, you can put more than one type of experience and you can have more than one current job. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have 4 current jobs on my LinkedIn profile right now, and I'm a retired guy. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm putting those out there because the experience section is another very, very important section as well. And oh, by the way, related to skills, okay, Other things that you can do about skills are kind of hidden as well. You can move them around. You can focus and put some at the top. You can also relate those skills to your existing or even current experience or previous experience. And doing that is another good thing from a market value as well, because the more linkages that you make, the more linkages that LinkedIn can make for you as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And it's all about being relevant to your
Yep.
audience and making sure that you're putting out a cohesive message that they can understand.
That's
And
exactly.
if your skills aren't in alignment with your current experience, then that's confusing, and people will be confused by that for sure.
Absolutely.
So, and actually, it's really good advice to people. If you're updating one section of your LinkedIn profile, just have a look around and make sure that it all fits and everything's working together.
Yes, because again, it's important from the getting found standpoint, but it's also important from the standpoint of when you get found. Now it all relates to one another, and it tells the story. It tells your profile really does need to be a storyteller. Okay, it needs to tell your story as to what you did in the past, what you're looking for now, and what you're going for in the future. All of those things are valid in terms of what you should put into experience and any other section.
Absolutely. Jeff, this is amazing. Right, let's have number 2, hidden feature.
Yep. All right. Number 2 is also related to your profile, but this one is also brand new. It's kind of, they brought something back that they used to have and haven't had for a long, long time. And this is related to your profile photo. If you click on your profile photo and you click I think the word is add photo now, even though you've got one, you click add photo in order to put another one out there or replace one that you might have. Once you click add photo, you get 2 options now. You used to only have one option, which was upload a photo. Okay. You now have a second option, which is use camera. You can actually use your camera on your desktop now. This didn't used to be even, used to, if you're going to use a camera, it had to be on your phone, right? Well, now in terms of your profile photo, you can actually use your camera on your desktop or on your laptop, and everybody's got one now. I'm really surprised it took LinkedIn this long to put that back. Okay. But now you can use that photo, use that camera to take a photo of you that you could then put inside of your actual profile picture. Okay.
So that actually is going to make life a lot easier for lots of people, isn't it? Because
I would think so.
when you're uploading things to your profile and you're changing your profile, I always advise people, as I know that you do, is to use your desktop rather than your phone, because it's
absolutely.
a fiddly little affair if you're trying to fill those tiny little boxes on your phone.
So if you're there, screen. Yeah,
it's too small, much too small. So if you're there on your computer already, why not just give a smile to the camera and there you go, and upload it straight away?
Well, I think LinkedIn is now starting to position itself toward the fact that there will actually be a way to do some inline video, if you will, as well from this point forward. Because if now you can use your camera to do a picture for your photo, you can also use your camera when you're actually doing a post to record live right then and then upload that live video, right? So it shouldn't be that much of a step for them to take that to the next level and allow us to do that as well. Now, that's not there yet, but and by the way, again, these are so new. Those 2 are so new that folks might not even have them yet. The only way they'll be able to determine it is to actually go click on their photo, click add photo, and and see whether use camera is even there or not. Because these
I haven't tested that, and I know I don't have the 100 skills because I had a look. I was in yesterday when I was teaching in my group, so I know I haven't got those, but I think I won't bother anyway. But yeah, good to know. But actually, lead it slightly off the conversation, which is what we were talking about earlier, is how LinkedIn chucks these changes and these new features about, but doesn't tell us.
Which is mad. It's really too bad.
So infuriating.
They honestly do it on purpose. Because it takes native video is back, okay, with that feature. So that's great. Kevin would know because Kevin keeps his finger on the pulse of
Kevin D. Turner is the guru of new. Let's say.
New things on LinkedIn. Great title. Yep.
If you want to keep up to date with all the new stuff on LinkedIn, Kevin will either find it, or if somebody else has found it, they'll tell Kevin, and then he posts it.
That's exactly. Well, yeah, Kevin just gave me credit for that used camera one because I found that one. Kevin one of the few instances where I get something before other people, which I usually I'm way late. But the point being is that they do that on purpose. They don't tell anybody because of the fact that she just checked it and she has it. Because of the fact that it takes them up to possibly 6 months to roll some of these things out. So unfortunately, if you announced it at the very beginning of the process, camera came on. Must have been the beard. Yeah.
Oh, dear. For people
never
listening to
fainted.
this, I'm just going to have to read this
Craig,
out.
I
So
love you.
Craig,
I
who
love
has
you, my
the
brother.
biggest beard in the world,
Craig,
is
I've been
just
selling my picture. I've been selling my picture to put people who want to keep rats out of their barn for a long time now. So that's so
yes,
funny.
poor Craig said his camera came on and his big fairy face appeared close up. Poor Craig nearly fainted. Well, there we go. Don't we love LinkedIn? Sorry. Now, Craig, you've completely put Jeff off his stride now.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I love it. I love Craig's sense of humor. So let's see. Want to do the next one?
Come on, let's another.
Well, the next one's been around. The next one's been around for a while, but it's hidden because it's hidden underneath something that people only are using if they are in the job search. Under the jobs tab, if you go over on the left-hand side, there is something that is an option that you can click on called interview prep. Okay. Now the reason I want to bring this one up is that this one is great for people who are not comfortable on doing video. Okay. But they want to practice, because if you do interview prep, there's a list of questions that pop up that are common questions, and you can even search for specific kinds of questions, etc. And you can either type in an answer, or you can video yourself giving that answer, which is obviously, again, now with video interviews and the much more virtual, workforce, etc. It's important to be able to practice on video. So if you're not comfortable on video, you can use Jobs Interview Prep to actually go record yourself on a video, and then others who are out there who are anonymous and or AI, okay, artificial intelligence, will actually give you feedback about whether or not you're doing a good job, or whether or not you're filling with ums and ahs and and etc. Okay, so it's really important. And you know what, this one is good for someone who's not in the job search, who just wants to practice a little bit as far as video is concerned.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's exactly right. Yeah. So if you want to practice on video, go to, where do they have to go, Jeff? So they go into the job search.
Jobs tab, and then down the left-hand side, you'll see something called interview prep.
So you can record yourself, and it will tell you how many ums and ers and ahs you're doing.
Yeah, it'll give you feedback. Artificial intelligence or other people that are out there. I mean, well, for example, one of the most common questions that you're going to see there is at the top, tell me about yourself, because everybody ends up having to answer that question in a job interview, right? Well, that question has been used by millions and millions and millions of people. So you can see all of the different kinds of things that are there. You can learn from other people as well, but then you can also practice it yourself. Practicing your elevator pitch, practicing your, etc. Practicing your LinkedIn live intro if you want to. Yeah,
I definitely need
I've
to
had enough practice that I really don't have to do too much. Yeah,
but I'm going to suggest that to my networking groups. They could all try that, couldn't they?
Absolutely.
That's fantastic, Jeff. That's an amazing one. Can I ask you?
Sure.
So there's one feature on our profiles which is newish. It's been around a year or so, I suppose. And it's in the most bizarre place. And I was teaching it yesterday, and my group were like, why is it there when you're adding your 5 hashtags?
Oh, yeah, because of
Where
creator mode, right?
Where it is.
I know. Well, your post on hashtags this week was brilliant. It's great because again, hashtags is one of the kind of hidden features, if you will, because so many people don't understand how it can be used and what it's for. I don't mind where it is. You're talking about the talks about hashtags, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I love having them there. They're actually up there right below my intro section, right? Which is great because it gives people a feeling for, at least now you know what kinds of subjects that I'm interested in. Also gives you a chance to put things like LinkedIn Simplified, a very famous hashtag by a very famous lady I know by the name of Hey Sarah Clay. Yeah, and but putting that out there brands you as well. So it's great. You're right. It's been there for a while. I keep telling LinkedIn it only comes on, and you can only enter them if you do creator mode. Okay, so you actually have to switch creator mode on. But I keep telling LinkedIn, gosh, it's nice to have those hashtags up there. How about making them actual links so that people can actually go to the hashtag, then see the hashtag, and then follow the hashtag?
But
Okay.
they've taken that away. So
Well,
if you
you can still follow hashtags.
but it's much more difficult than it used to be.
It is, because now you got to find one. So if people want to follow, it's key to go to a post that has the hashtag in it. Okay, because you used to, for example, I could go up in the top of LinkedIn right now and search for hashtag LinkedIn Simplified. Now, what it would not show me is the hashtag, but what it
Correct.
would show me is the option of clicking on posts that have that hashtag in it. And since it's your branded hashtag, it would be you pretty much always. I don't
Most,
think anybody,
most of them, yeah.
it has to be you because nobody else is using it that I know of. Okay, but then when you get to that post and that is a blue link, if you actually click on the blue link, hashtag LinkedIn Simplified, it will bring up the hashtag, show you how many followers it has. And oh, if you are not following it, it will have a follow button that you can click the follow button. So, and again, I don't think one of the other changes I think that LinkedIn has made in the past, I can't be sure of this. Yeah, I agree, Craig. Having the links up there as far as talks about would be great. Just have them be blue links. I don't see how it's that difficult to do, but at any rate. So one of the things that people don't do very often anymore, I think one of the changes that LinkedIn's made as far as kind of hidden hashtags is concerned is that they don't really create your feed based on hashtags anymore. I think they used to, but I don't think they do that so much anymore. They do it more about people now. And
Yeah.
and that's why I tell people that, if you've got the hashtags and you follow the hashtags, you can always go to my network, which has a list down the left-hand side of all the kinds of things that you follow, one of which is, of course, hashtags. So you can bring up, for example, in my case, if I go to my network and then go down and click on the followed hashtags, okay, it brings up the 25 hashtags that I follow, and then I can start going through them one at a time and seeing the posts and seeing the things that people have done related to them, right? But again, and we probably should, before we go too much further, define hashtag in two different categories as well. There's the general hashtag, which is a category of content, as in hashtag career development. That is obviously a very broad perspective. Hashtag productivity, that's a very broad perspective, okay, et cetera. But then there's also the branded hashtag, and that is hashtag LinkedIn Simplified and hashtag
The LinkedIn Guru. Yes, the LinkedIn Guru, not just LinkedIn Guru.
Well, LinkedIn Guru was already taken, so I couldn't use that one as a branded hashtag.
But I like the LinkedIn Guru. I think it's good.
Well,
Okay, Jeff, let's move on. Another hidden feature.
Well, hidden inside of settings and privacy. There's actually settings and privacy is something that not a lot of people go to on a regular basis either, right? So we might as well use that one. But hidden inside of settings and privacy, if you look at your security area, okay, hit me settings and privacy, tap me settings and privacy, and then go over to the left-hand side, and it's about sign in and security. The thing that I'm talking about here is something that's called two-step verification. This one is, I don't think a lot of people take advantage of this, because this is a savior. If you set up two-step verification, what it will do is that, for example, my two-step verification is that if I sign on to my LinkedIn account, okay, or anyone else signs on to my LinkedIn account, I've got it verified to send a message, if it's a new sign-on, to my phone. And that way I will know if it's me signing on new or it's somebody else signing on new, which is a bad thing, right? So it gives you a way of protecting your account, which is extremely important, because there are so many fake accounts out there. I honestly, I've actually heard statistics that say 10 to 20% of the billion people that are on LinkedIn are actually fake people.
No.
Isn't that amazing? But I've heard other people say it as well.
How do we know? I mean, how on earth? I mean, I always thought we could spot them because they just look fake, or
of course, yeah,
names are the wrong way around, or the photos are really weird, or whatever. Yeah. But are they that obvious? Maybe they're not.
Well, some of them are, some of them aren't. I mean, some of them are, some of them are better at scamming than others, right? And honestly, the last 5 to 10 fake accounts that I saw, which was in the last week, it's been this week so far, right? The last 5 or 10 fake accounts that I've seen were actually accounts that have been around since like 2017. So they're not brand new. I mean, it's an account that says it exists since 2017. I think what's ended up happening because there's no two-step verification on that account. People have hacked into that account and they're starting to use that account, even though it's somebody else. Yes, you can. Based on what I think, Sarah's extremely good advice is look at that profile. Figure out, do a more button and look about this profile and look at their contact information and see whether or not they've even updated their LinkedIn URL to have all the gobbledygooks removed from it and those kinds of things. But there's all kinds of things with the right, kind of picture, but you can spot those fake accounts. Okay, you can.
I think you can. Oh, hi, Gabe. Nice to see you. I think you can. I think. And there was a time when I kept seeing all these fake accounts with the names the wrong way around, like Young Jeff and Clay Sarah. And it was so obvious that there was something going on there.
They're less obvious now, but they still exist. They do. And I usually discover them because I've gotten a DM from somebody that's trying to sell me a website or something along those lines, or a franchise or blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So I deep stick those and go on and get rid of them and don't worry about them and just move on. But,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't let them rule your life.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at the time. We have gone over.
We have.
We have gone over. This has been so fun. We could be here, literally, we could be here for hours.
Lickety split.
Jeff, this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you. For the purposes of those people who are listening either on YouTube or on, Catch Up Afterwards podcast, where can we find you?
Where else would you expect to find the LinkedIn Guru? Yes, obviously, go look me up on LinkedIn. You may see me. I do have a YouTube channel. I'm there as well. But from the standpoint, I don't even have a website. Well, actually, that's not quite true. I do own www.thelinkedinguru.com. Okay. But if you were to actually type this is one way to get to me. If you were to actually type into Google, okay, www.thelinkedinguru.com, guess where it would go? LinkedIn profile.
Get your LinkedIn profile.
Exactly. Yes. So I don't even have a website. I just have a web address. But that's the easiest way to get in touch with me. And please follow me. One of the hidden features, real quickly, one of the hidden features is follow. But the other hidden feature behind follow is ring somebody's bell. And I have done that for you. I've done that for a lot of my peeps that I want to make sure that I see, because ringing the bell is that next step in follow. But I love it when people follow me because, again, that gives them a chance of seeing my stuff out there. And I'm going to be pretty regularly putting stuff out there on every Monday morning. And speaking of which, I love your Monday posts because your Monday posts are always focused on, hi, what kind of content should you post this week? And you're always giving people content ideas. So I love the fact that you do that every week as well. So thank you.
Well, we're here to help people, aren't we? And you also have a newsletter, which would be great if people could subscribe to your newsletter, which is jam-packed full of amazing tips and tricks and information. And if you subscribe to Jeff's newsletter, you'll get a notification whenever he publishes it. Right. So that's the brilliant thing about newsletters.
Right.
Jeff Young, the LinkedIn Guru, my first guest on Sarah's LinkedIn Live Lounge. I'm very, very excited to have had you here. You have made my day, made my week. So thank you so much. And next week we have as our guest, my guest is the wonderful Bobby Umar coming on. So please come back this time next week, 3 p.m. GMT, whatever time it is where you are. What time is it where you are, Jeff?
It was actually 10 a.m. for me. East,
so you're
Eastern Standard. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Sorry we didn't get through all your comments, but it's been amazing watching the chat go.
I'll get to the comments later.
Yeah, no, please do. Yeah, and me too. I'll dive in later because, of course, what's the wonderful thing about lives is that they sit there on your profile and they'll also be on my YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
And on your YouTube channel too. So thanks, everybody. Hey, Sarah Clay.
Thank you for making me first. And I can say that now down the road, when you've done 50 or 100 of these things, that I was the first.
You were.
Namaste.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Bye.